It is 20-6. Start of the second half, and here's some big news for you. The Black Eyed Peas will perform at this year's Bridgestone Super Bowl halftime show. Their new album, The Beginning, comes out November 30th.
I got a feeling. Ooh, I had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. And I owe it all to you. Dirty bit.
So there you go, more information for you. will.i.am, Fergie, Black Eyed Peas will be with us right here. Super Bowl 45, February 6th. There are the first half stats. The Saints are playing like they want to go back. They've won 3 in a row, and they kick it to the Cowboys. Des Bryant on the return. Started left, comes across the field, now up the middle. Dragged down after he got across the 30 by Marvin Mitchell, a return of 31 yards. Here is Pam Oliver.
Joe, Coach Jason Garrett with a lot of coach speak at the half. I asked him, how do you fix what happened in that first half? He said, you know what, we just got to keep on battling, take advantage of our opportunities on offense. As for Sean Payton, very pleased with the team's energy in the first half. He said somebody's going to wear down given the short week that we have, and we just hope it's not us. Back to you.
All right, Pam, and a Saints offense, Troy, that scored on 4 of their 5 first half possessions.
Well, Dallas did some good things on offense as well. They just failed to come away with the touchdown. Of course, they gave up the ball on downs and then had to settle for field goals on the last 2 drives.
Kidna finds Felix Jones, who's out across the 40.
But that last drive before the half to come away with 3 points there, I thought was big. Anytime you can come away with points right before the end of the first half, I think it's a big momentum booster going in at halftime then, and then to be able to get this game back to just a 2-possession ball game and then getting the ball coming out here to start this third quarter.
That all happened because of a career-long 53-yard field goal by David Beeler. 2nd and 2. And they reverse it with Austin carrying it. Williams out in front blocking, and Miles Austin. There are no flags. Jones delivers the block. Touchdown.
You see the reverse here, and at one time it looked like the Saints had him bottled up pretty good right along the sideline. Roy Williams does a good job on the outside. That's the second good block that we've seen already here this afternoon by Roy Williams, and it allows then Miles Austin to not have to continue to extend that towards the sideline, but gave him a place to go with the ball, and then great blocking down the field after that as well.
The longest Cowboy run this year was 34 yards prior to the 60-yarder from Miles Austin. What a start to this second half, and it's all of a sudden a 7-point game.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By the Ford F-150 and its 4 new engines. This is the future of truck. And by Visa. More people go with Visa.
A jolt to start this second half from Miles Austin. His career rushing totals before that 60-yarder, 4 carries, 2 yards. And it's a 7-point game here in Texas. Beeler hits it. Roby will take a knee. Back to the touchdown.
Yeah, you're going to see Danny Clark. He was the one guy right here who had a chance to make a play on Miles Austin. He gets sucked up a little bit, but then as he comes out, he has to make that play right there. And Jason Witten got a nice block, maybe got away with a hold here on Malcolm Jenkins. And you see, you always know when a guy feels like he got away with one when he raises his arms like Jason Witten did. But the guy who made the block at the very end of the play was Felix Jones, and he was the guy who the ball was initially faked to in the backfield. Just great hustle on his part. Yeah, I think he got away with a hold, Joe.
Okay. I'm going to say, Mr. Former Cowboy, maybe. Here's Reggie Bush. He makes a catch. 12 yards and a first down, and that thing was just dropped in perfectly by Drew Brees.
What do we call that?
That's the stovepipe. We learned that last week for those of you scoring at home. That's dropping it down the old stovepipe.
Yeah, no defense for the stovepipe throw.
Here are the offensive leaders for the Saints. Great start for Drew Brees. Ho hum, nothing to it. And he is accurate. He is number 1 in the NFL with completion percentage of 69.5%. Brees fires and completes it to Lance Moore. 12 yards again. Another first down.
Yeah, Lance Moore, he runs such good routes and depth that the defensive backs kind of get lost because of the depth that he's running them at. And DeMarcus Ware, they certainly got his attention, and they're going to do what they can. That time Julius Jones helping out. But these guys are crafty. These wide receivers are against zone. You know, really pushing their depths and then getting lost by that underneath coverage.
Brees fires, and it's almost picked. Good coverage by Brooking. Was in front of Jimmy Graham. Paul Pasqualoni has taken over the defense. Wade Phillips was not just the head coach but also the defensive coordinator, and Pasqualoni's brought with him more zone coverage than they were playing under Wade Phillips. That's good, but Drew Brees can find holes in zones as well as anybody.
Yeah, and you know, he just felt that the corners were being hung out a little too much, you know, with all the man coverage that they ran, and they are. I mean, you've got to be so dominant on the outside to play as much man as they were playing.
Here's the rookie. Ivory breaks loose. Big run. First down. Tackle by Allen Ball. 18 yards for Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory, he just gets in behind fullback Heath Evans and keeps his legs going, and was able to come out the other side. It looked like he wasn't going to get much out of this run, but he got skinny right there and is able to take a look as he moves through the line of scrimmage right here, and how low he's able to get and how he squeezes through there. A lot of times there's tight spaces for these running backs. You've got to be able to do that like he just did.
That was Zach Streif, an extra offensive lineman who was in motion, who had that good block on DeMarcus Ware. Quick setup and throw, and there's the rookie, the tight end Jimmy Graham. And head coach Sean Payton told us Jimmy Graham had the best private workout he had seen since Jeremy Shockey came out of Miami, where Jimmy Graham played collegiately. And he came out over 9 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, here's a third-round pick. I think he's going to be a little bit like Jermichael Finley for the Green Bay Packers. I think in a few years we look back on this draft, 2010, you can say he was a steal in the third round.
Here's Julius Jones. Picks up 1.5 yards. We'll give him 2. Brooking is in there on the stop, and it's third down.
And I think that's one of the things that the Saints have done such a good job of. It's one thing to be well coached, but when you're making good personnel decisions, you know, you've got a chance then, and they've done that. They've really done a nice job in the draft of building this team.
Third down and 3. Blitz. Brees floats it to perfection. Marcus Colston. And I don't know how you defense that. A perfect throw from Drew Brees.
Well, you don't, because they're in man coverage. You're going to see on the outside the receivers just taking off. They're running a little twist. You see that twist there on the 2 outside receivers, and so you immediately then get the corner, in this case Orlando Scandrick, in a position of trail. So he's immediately in a trail position because of the very nature of the route. And then all it takes is a good throw by the quarterback. You can't defense it.
That's 19 yards on a 3rd and 3. Saints are in the red zone where they're 2 for 2 today. And scoring touchdowns. That's batted away. Olshansky is out there on the edge. Hit him right in the helmet. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. This, Troy, for all the scoring for New Orleans, they've had the most trips into the red zone in the NFL. but they're number 26 in the league in turning those trips into touchdowns. Last week, 2 interceptions and a missed field goal for New Orleans.
Well, and that's been the frustration for Drew Brees. I mean, he knows they're better than that, should be better than that in this area.
2nd and 10. Brees has time, finds his man, pass is caught. That's Lance Moore, good for just 3 yards. 3rd down coming up.
But if you look at this game, Joe, the Cowboys offensively, they've had some things that have kept them from scoring more points. But as far as moving the ball and doing some things, they've been pretty good overall. It's this Cowboys defense, and when you look at the Cowboys season of 2010, yeah, the offense has not played as well as what you would like in certain areas, but this defense has been a major disappointment for this year.
Here comes a blitz, 3rd down and 7. Receiver fell down, and Reggie Bush can't make the catch. Bush initially slipped, and that messed up the entire play.
Well, and he still had a chance because Drew Brees hung with him, and if he just makes the catch, I think he still scores. He's going to come out of the backfield on an angle route, and right there is when he slipped. But if he's able to make the play, you see what he's working with. There's nobody out in front of him.
So his first week back, and there's some rust showing on Reggie Bush. Here's a 28-yard try for Garrett Hartley, 2 for 2 today. Now 3 for 3. So Reggie Bush is back in the lineup. Got a couple of miscues so far today. He is frustrated. So's Brees. Almost had another. 23-13. Saints get close, have to settle for 3 inside the red zone. They've scored 5 times of their 6 possessions. 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and Hartley hits it. McCann on the return. Looking for something big, and he can't make the 15-yard line. Lee Torrance downfield to make the stop. And a frustrated Reggie Bush thinking about a missed opportunity. 10-point game in Texas.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. The signal is yours. Wield it to transmit anything you want. Verizon.
How about that work by Anthony Hargrove through Tashard Choice?
Choice only given up 60 pounds.
To dig his way out from under the turf. Kedna with a pocket around him for Witten. Good start to this drive for Dallas. Completion of 20 yards.
That's the area of the field that Jason Witten knows all too well. You know, they like to get him going across the field from that tight end position, and John Kitna puts the ball on him, and John Kitna is quietly having himself a pretty good game, especially when you consider what it is that he's going up against with this Saints defensive secondary. You know, 5 of the last 6 opponents that they've played, they've held for 175 yards or less passing. Kitna almost had that at halftime.
20-yard completion, now delayed handoff to Felix Jones. Out to the 35. Carry of 3 yards. Well, we already talked about it, but it's worth talking about again. A huge day of games right here on Fox this week, this Sunday. Doubleheader, game 1, Packers and Falcons. As good as it gets in the NFC. Vikings, Redskins, Panthers, Browns. America's game of the week, Eagles and Bears in Chicago, or the Bucks and Ravens. Another good one of the Rams alive in the NFC West against the Broncos. Starting at 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Ford Fox NFL pregame show brought to you by the all-new Ford F-150, built Ford tough. Should be fun this Sunday. Don't even have to change the channel. 2nd and 7. Kedna broken up. Roy Williams, the intended receiver, and the play was made by Jabari Greer. 3rd and 7.
You know, Des Bryant has been pretty quiet here this afternoon, but what they're doing is at the snap, they're making it look like it's one-on-one, but at the last minute, you see number 41 there, Roman Harper. He had started up in the line of scrimmage and then came off the ball to give help on the outside. So he has certainly got a lot of attention. by the safeties, and more times than not, they're putting 2 guys on Des Bryant. They don't want him to break this game open.
Kidna had completed 9 straight and a false start. Gerard didn't snap it. Everybody else moved, but no snap.
False start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So the one guy who didn't do anything, Andre Gerard, is flagged for the false start. Everybody else around him was firing off the ball.
Something tells me he was supposed to snap it.
I think so.
You know, when he's supposed to snap it, he doesn't snap it. When he's not supposed to snap it, he does. Come on, Andre.
3rd down and 11. Just a 3-man rush. This one's too hard. Batted in the air and incomplete. Off the hands of Bryant. And then Shanley had a shot at it, but couldn't adjust.
Boy, they got lucky there, because when the ball goes up like that, it generally is intercepted. And the Saints have had a hard time catching the ball this year as well, coming into this game with only 6 interceptions. Of course, they had the one in this game last year, 3rd in the NFL with 26 interceptions.
Reggie Bush waits, and penalty flags before the snap and a false start.
False start, offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's Sean Lee. This is some of the stuff that the Cowboys had avoided in 2 games under Jason Garrett, but there have been some sloppy moments in this game for the Dallas Cowboys as Witten tries to fire up the rest of the offense. McBriar hits a booming punt. And from just outside the 15-yard line, Reggie Bush looking for room. Penalty flag flies. Looked like a bad block, and now the ball comes out. Jesse Holley knocked it out, and the Cowboys have the football. There's a flag down, but it looks like it's against New Orleans. Leon Williams recovered the fumble.
Well, Reggie has been known before to put the ball on the ground.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 31. That penalty decline will result of the play. 1st down, Dallas.
But you're always worried about it. You see, was that Jesse Holley who comes in and makes the play, knocks it out of Reggie Bush's hands. But you always worry. Consider the fact that Reggie Bush hasn't played in 8 weeks. When you get out there and then you finally have some contact, I think it was more of a good play by Jesse Holley than it was being careless by Reggie Bush.
So Reggie Bush is put out there to hit a home run. He just struck out. Turning it over, Holley, one of the backup wide receivers, gets that reaction from rookie Des Bryant, and the Cowboys take over at the New Orleans 15, down by 10. Out of the backfield, Felix Jones. Bryant blocking, and a pretty good play. Forced out by Jenkins. As Felix Jones tiptoed down the sideline, a gain of 8.
And you're going to see Jesse Holley there. You see him in pursuit. That's just good hustle on his part to make a play. And we've seen a few of those now. We've seen DeMarcus Ware running down the field a number of times making plays. Of course, we saw Felix Jones on the touchdown that Miles Austin had. You say good things happen around the ball. It's a good idea to get to it.
Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coordinator for Dallas, has to be happy about that effort by Holley. Here is Felix Jones, and he will twist his way, brought down right at the marker at the 5. Depends on the spot, and it is a 1st down, 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for Dallas, down by 10.
And we'll see what Dallas is able to do now once they're down in here. They got down in here in the 1st half, and they couldn't punch it in and had to settle for a field goal inside the 5-yard line.
This is coming into the game the number 8 team in the NFL and turning red zone trips into touchdowns, the Dallas Cowboys. Bryant is at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, if they single him, he's going to get safety help here.
Just got it away. Austin incomplete. And the Cowboys just avoided a delay of game call.
Well, I think Des Bryant is starting to get a little frustrated because even no matter where the safety is, if you throw a fade ball against the corner, the safety is not going to be a factor. He's going to take anything away to the inside. And, you know, we've seen it all year from this guy. When the ball's in the air, he's got a pretty good chance of coming down with it. Of course, he's not even going to be on the field here.
2nd and goal. Barber gets it. Marion Barber is to the 2. Anthony Hargrove, the first guy to meet Marion Barber, and it'll be 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line.
Well, the Saints on that play, they went with 5 defensive linemen anticipating run. You know, Marion got a little bit of yardage there, but now this becomes a critical 3rd down.
Cowboys trying to turn that Reggie Bush fumble into 7 points. Bryant at the top. Inside handoff. Barber fights his way. No signal. Held up short by Vilma. Jonathan Vilma, the middle linebacker, made the stop, and it's 4th down.
Jonathan Vilma, I mean, that's a good job on his part of just filling the hole. And that's what you want from your middle linebacker, and he didn't give any ground once contact was made.
And here's another 4th down try. And I guess on some level, why not? 3 and 7, you're down by 10. You need points taking on a Drew Brees-led team, and here it is, 4th and goal. Barber, touchdown.
Well, you get down in that position, Joe, and it's really just a matter of whose pad level gets lower, and you get in behind Gronkowski, the fullback, and you know, who's going to win the one-on-one matchups and create some type of push, and Dallas was able to.
This to make it a 3-point game. Cowboys fighting back. They get the Reggie Bush turnover, turn it into 7. 3rd rushing touchdown by a Dallas running back all year. And number 24 has all 3. Jason Garrett and the Cowboys with Kitten at quarterback down by 3. Saints led 17-0 after 1 quarter. The Dallas defense, to their credit, they've allowed just 6 points since then, and the Cowboys offensively have come alive, made that turnover count for 7. It's 23-20. Peeler drives it into the back of the end zone. Reggie Bush coughed it up. Holly forced the fumble. And Princeton grad Jason Garrett getting nuts over on the sideline with his team down by 3.
Hi, I'm Brittany Breeze. This is my husband Drew. This is Bowen. This is Balin, and we want to wish you
a happy Thanksgiving.
From the Breeze family to you, 93,985 in Cowboys Stadium, watching what's turned into a good game. And now the father of little Bowen Breeze will go back to work. And Drew has had a nice game. So far, he is 17 of 25, 239 yards, but he has to get back after it.
Yeah, it's just some of the red zone problems that have plagued them really for much of the year.
Starting at the 20. Handoff is to Julius Jones, and a nice start to this drive. He got 9. maybe 9.5. Sensabaugh on the tackle. And Marion Barber had to really fight his way into the end zone on 4th down.
Yeah, pretty tough going down there around the goal line, and he was able through second effort get it across.
Julius Jones picks up a 1st down.
Really now it's about this Cowboys defense and whether or not they're going to be able to make some stops. And you think back to that last possession by New Orleans and the drop by Reggie Bush, which in all likelihood would have been a touchdown. They had to settle for a field goal, and then the fumble. I mean, you're talking, that's an 11-point swing on 2 plays there by Reggie Bush.
Guy that has missed 8 games. Coming back activated today, and that has not paid off. Breeze fires and completes to the rookie tight end Jimmy Graham. 5-yard pickup. And with under 3.5 to go in what is a long quarter, a long game, it'll be 2nd down and 5.
I think it's interesting that last year the Cowboys, if they had not have beaten the Saints in New Orleans, in all likelihood their season was over. They had really been struggling, and it led them then into the playoffs, and they won a playoff game. And it's ironic that a win here for Dallas could secure Jason Garrett as the head coach next year.
It's 2nd down and 5. Breeze rolls right, throws, hits Colston, who stays up and takes it into Dallas territory. The odds on Jason Garrett, they rise and fall every week. So far it's trending up. After week 1 for him, he wins at the Giants. The Giants were red hot coming into that game. Game happened in New Jersey. Then last week they end up beating Detroit, something that I think people expected. And now this week, with a schedule the rest of the way, they've got Philly twice in the last 4 games. It's out there for him with this club to secure his job. Handoff is to Ivory for 4.
And one of the real challenges for Jason Garrett is, I asked him if he would ever consider not calling the plays, if he was the full-time head coach, and it's not something that he'd really plan on ever giving up. He likes doing it, he enjoys it, but if there was ever a time that he was not going to call plays, now would be the time, because him trying to change a lot of things as a head coach and oversee all that is a little bit compromised when you're then having to go to offensive meetings and still coordinate the offensive side of the ball.
On 2nd down, pass caught by Colston, and he is rolled forward, brought down right at the marker. Looks to be enough for a 1st down, and it is.
And this is just another methodical drive here by the New Orleans Saints. Nobody's in much of a hurry, and Drew Brees is very calm within the pocket and finding the open guy, and here they go.
When you talk about Garrett calling the plays, the guy across the field is calling the plays, and the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, Greg Williams, said when you get that shot, guys make a mistake and they step away from what they did that got him the job in the first place. As Julius Jones twists down inside the 35, picked up 5. Sean Lee on the tackle.
And of course Sean Payton, he was hired after being the offensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys under Bill Parcells, and I really believe that if Jerry Jones was being completely honest, he's the one assistant coach that Jerry Jones wishes had never got out of the building. He was highly respected during his years with the Cowboys, and I think they knew that he was going to go on and do some special things whenever he landed a head job.
Sean Payton's first full year as offensive coordinator for the Giants. They went to the Super Bowl under Jim Fossil. Here's Graham, and that ball comes out going to the ground. That's an incomplete pass. As a process of the catch going to the ground, it popped out incomplete.
Yeah, he had it there for a minute, but you called it, Joe. You got to hang on to it as you go down to the ground, and he didn't. And a pretty easy call there, and good call on the incompletion. And going back to Sean Payton, Bill Parcells hired him. You remember when play calling got taken away from him in New York under Jim Fossil? Bill Parcells hired him with the Cowboys, and he had never met him personally, had only spoken to him on the phone because he was so impressed with how Sean Payton had handled everything in New York.
That's a delay of game. Either delay a game or timeout if Payton caught it. So they threw the flag, then pick it up. As Sean Payton on the sideline saw the play clock winding down and called a timeout before the play clock expired. And as we welcome you inside the booth, you see Jeremy Shockey, who's inactive with bad ribs. We've got a ball game, and the Saints now, they got close, they had a shot, they came away with 3 points their last time down, and now they're on the move here again.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys defensively just really haven't had a lot of answers for slowing down this New Orleans offense. Not a lot of teams have in general, over the last several years. But the Cowboys have, they've tried to match it offensively and get some things going and score some points, move the ball down the field. But each time they've done that and they've kind of got within striking distance, the defense just hasn't been able to make a stop.
It's 3rd and 5. Blitz off the edge. Pass is broken up. Brooking made the play in front of Dave Thomas.
Well, that's a stop they needed because the Saints were doing a nice job moving the ball down the field. Keith Brooking is engaged, and he plays that very well. And I'm not sure that, even if David Thomas had been able to make that catch, he would have been short of the first down. Of course, he would have at least put him in position then to come away with a field goal.
Well, right now the Saints are passing on a 53-yard field goal to go for it on 4th and 5. Breeze for more, incomplete. And the Saints turn it over on downs.
There's that little void there right along the sideline, and if you're quick with the ball, as Breeze was, you got a chance to fit it in there before you get the safety over the top. This time, Allen Ball. It was just a ball that was a little bit high, and Lance Moore not able to get up and bring that one in.
Ball was wise that he came in low and didn't go after Lance Moore up around the head. He had a wide open shot at him. And instead of a foolish penalty, he went in with his shoulder into the chest. No flag. And the Cowboys take over down 3. 19 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and they'll start with a throw. Kidna, Felix Jones, nice move. Ball came out when he hit the ground, and there is a scramble for the football. This could be a killer turnover for the Dallas Cowboys. And was he down when the ball popped out? Right now they're saying live ball, and we'll see who comes away with it. The Cowboys do. Let's take another look anyway. They got on top of the fumble, and the ball was indeed knocked out by Cedric Ellis before Felix Jones was down. But it's a 14-yard catch and run, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Arlington. A game that was 17-0 after 1 is now 23-20 after 3. Saints on top, Cowboys with a football. Back after this from your local Fox station. That's what the Cowboys have done on the scoreboard. They've outscored New Orleans 20-6 in the last 20 minutes. We start the 4th quarter, and on 1st down, Kidna goes down, ball's out. And it's picked up by Bennett. Martellus Bennett comes away with a football. They keep the play alive, and it turns into a gain. Will Smith, the first one there. Kidna lost it, and Martellus Bennett saved it for Dallas.
Will Smith just did a nice job of, once Kidna stepped up in the pocket, he came off the block and he was able to then get the hit strip on John Kidna. And the Cowboys have now been fortunate twice on this drive.
Turns into a gain of 5 yards, 2nd and 5. Penalty flag on the play. Barber breaks loose. But we'll check the flag. Barber down to the New Orleans 32. Let's see if it's coming back. It's an illegal shift against Dallas. That play will not stand.
Illegal shift. Offense. Number 88 was in motion, was moving while the motion man was moving. 5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
That's on Des Bryant, the rookie, who does not have a catch today. And the last two defensive coordinators we've talked to, and you hinted around at this, Troy, Bryant, who's hot, is now considered the top threat offensively. Not Miles Austin, not Witten. It's Bryant for defensive coordinators.
Yeah, and I think that if I was John Kitna, I'd find a way to get the ball to Des Bryant. You know, John Kitna could have helped him too. There's got to be a shift there, and if he had noticed Des Bryant was moving, to try to get him then to get set.
Now second down and 10. They hand it off to Barber. This one's bottled up a little better. A gain of 6. First guy there was Cedric Ellis, and it's third down for Dallas.
I think they've just targeted Des Bryant twice, you know, in this game, and as you said, he doesn't have a reception. And you know, I commented on it. The Saints are doing some creative stuff in making sure they've got 2 bodies on Des Bryant. But still, having said that, every great receiver in the league has double coverage. You know, you can still find ways to get him the ball or give him at least opportunities.
Here comes a blitz. Kitna fires and hits Witten. Forward progress. Gave him enough for a first down. He works his way back on the other side, but this is enough for Dallas. First down, Cowboys, a gain of 5.
Well, that was a big third down conversion there for Dallas, and you know, he just comes up, turns around, and John Kitna then just sticks it on him, and you know, he got it looked like they had him spotted past the first down line at that point right there, before he got gang tackled by about 6 guys.
7 catches, 71 yards for Witten. He came in as the Cowboys' leading receiver. He now has 57 on the year. Out of the backfield is Felix Jones. Had done this a lot. Out in space, he tries to get around Roman Harper, who drags him down, a gain of 4.
Well, and the reason why they've been able to get the ball to their backs, or the reason that Jason Witten is having the day that he's having and Felix Jones is because of all the attention they're paying to the outside. And that, you know, they compare Des Bryant a lot to Michael Irvin, and on the field that is, but that's the stuff Michael would do too, you know, and Michael wasn't a disruptive player on the sidelines. He just wanted the ball thrown to him, and that's what I'm sensing from Des Bryant as well.
On second down and 6, the Cowboys moving it. Felix Jones picks up 2, and now another big third down coming up, as the Dallas Cowboys are right there on the outside edge of field goal range for Beeler as it is. And here comes Des Bryant. After getting calmed down on the sideline, he's been shut out.
Well, and John Kitna, he's unaware of just how frustrated Des Bryant at least was a moment ago on the sidelines before Ray Sherman was able to calm him down and some others. Well, we'll see if maybe he gets an opportunity on this play.
Play clock is at 5. And Cowboys weren't set. Kitna has to use a timeout. Each side has 2 left. Third down for the Dallas Cowboys when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Toyota. By State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by the Green Hornet, in theaters January 14th, 2011. This film is not yet rated.
Moment on the sideline during the break. Ray Sherman, the veteran coach, wide receivers coach, and a great guy, came over to try and calm down the rookie Des Bryant.
Hey, he's been around some of those divas. He knows how to handle them.
It's third down and 4. So have you.
I still am.
Here is a pass behind Des Bryant. So they finally go in his direction. Greer with a coverage. Pass is incomplete, and now here comes another long field goal try for Beeler.
It was the right idea. It just wasn't a real good throw. And I know what the idea was. They want to throw that back shoulder, but you know, really not much of an opportunity there for Des to be able to make a play.
Now they bring the punt team on. I'm surprised. This would be a 53-yard try. Beeler's already hit from 53, and instead of an attempt to tie it, they pass on it.
I think it's all about field position, Joe. But he's definitely got enough leg from this distance.
And now McBriar just kicks it off the ground. They're going to throw a flag. Tracy Porter on the return is dragged down across the 15. But a flag is thrown. The referee threw it. That's Boger. And McBriar just dropped it and then off the ground kicked it.
I like the kick. It was a good snap. He just didn't handle it very well, but you know, he did all that he could think of.
Played Australian rules football, and that thing was end over end, and then McBriar knocked it forward, and they threw a flag for the kick. Officials get together, and we'll get the call from Boger. I think the interesting thing is passing on the 53-yard try. Sometimes for a team led by Drew Brees, field position, whether you back them up or not, doesn't really matter.
Well, no, I think when you're looking at it with a 3-point deficit, you're saying, well, you know, hey, Beeler's not automatic either.
Oh,
you just hate to give up the short field then to the Saints. They've been hard enough to stop as it is. You're pretty much giving up points right away at that position. And, you know, I could see it going either way. I don't necessarily agree with the call to punt it. That if you do, at least, you know, you got to trust the guys you got. And
illegal kick. Kicking team, number 1. That penalty is declined. The result of the play will be first down, New Orleans.
You know, if you've got Beeler on your team because he's got a strong leg, you got to give him a chance to make some of those kicks.
It's a 23-20 Saints lead. They have the ball. McBriar talks about kicking that loose ball, which is a foul, but we're going to bring Mike Pereira in after a play. Let's just talk again briefly. Jason Garrett passes on a 53-yard try to tie it. And in the end, the Cowboys net only 19 yards of field position as the Saints take over just outside their own 15, and the pass is incomplete. Here's Mike Pereira, and what did we see there a moment ago, and what exactly was the foul called on the kick by McBriar?
Well, just as you said, what you can't do is you can't kick a loose ball. So that was a backward pass, no possession by the kicker. So he basically kicked a loose ball, a backward pass, not a kicking play. So therefore, the yardage does not tack onto the return. They had to decline it to keep the ball.
Mike, thank you. And after an incompletion, it's 2nd and 10. Handoff is to Julius Jones. He has split the carries with Chris Ivory. A gain of 3 and a 3rd down and 7 coming up.
Yeah, another 3rd down play and another critical down, you know, for Dallas in order to try to make a stop here with the Saints. And both of these teams today, of course, the Saints came into the game leading the NFL on 3rd down, converting 50%, which is ridiculously good. And they've been at 50% again here this afternoon.
It's 3rd and 7. Brees sets up over the middle. The rookie can't make the catch. Sensabaugh picks it off through the hands of Jimmy Graham. Sensabaugh down the sideline. Cowboys take over down 3. Sensabaugh, 2nd interception of the season. 14-yard return. Dallas has it at the Saints 39, down by 3.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Windows 7.
One thing the Cowboys have done under Jason Garrett is win the turnover battle. They're +1 today. That was the 2nd Saints turnover. The Bush fumble and now the interception off the hands of Jimmy Graham.
Well, they got the 2-deep look from Dallas, and so this is where it's vulnerable right down the middle. A perfectly thrown pass by Drew Brees right in the hands there of Jimmy Graham's, and then of course, Sensabaugh gets the deflection, but you know, Breeze has had a number of interceptions this year, more so than what he had last year. But a lot of them, like what we just saw, tip balls. Great job there by Drew Brees going over to the young rookie and trying to cheer him up.
Told him to shake it off. It's second down and 9. Extra men on the rush, and there's Roy Williams inside the 15-yard line.
Now Patrick Robinson, the rookie, you see he good release there by Roy Williams, but he got Robinson out on his heels and to the outside, and you know, once that happened, then Roy Williams was smooth sailing on the slant route. You see he's explaining to him right there how Patrick Robinson, the rookie, was trying to play him, and he never really got to jam on him and open the door for the slant.
24 yards for Roy Williams, and now Marion Barber keeps plugging down inside the 10. During the 1-7 start, the Cowboys were averaging 20 points per game and were -9 in the turnover ratio since Jason Garrett took over 2-0, 34 points per game and +3. They're +1 here today. And they have a second down at the New Orleans 10, down by 3.
That's been the biggest difference that I've seen here over the last 2.5 games is the defense has given up yards, but they've been able to come away with takeaways, something that you really hadn't seen from them for a few years.
Second down and 6. Kitna throws somehow. Roy Williams makes the catch and spins for a first down. What a catch.
That was a good catch, and he fell down to start with, and yet Kitna hung with him. You know, he comes off the line of scrimmage and he falls down there because of the contact, but he keeps the play alive. And John Kitna, he had some mustard on that one, Joe, and that's a good catch by Roy Williams in a small space.
A couple of former Detroit Lions hooking up to set up a 1st and goal from the 3.
Those two guys have done that a few times in Detroit.
Here's Barber. He already has one, and now another. Excuse me. Oh, elbows down. Looked like he was down short of the goal line, and they're pleading with the bench. They're going to give it a look. It looked like the elbow, the forearm was on the ground before the ball broke the plane, if it did at all, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think it broke the plane, and I agree with you, Joe, that the elbow was down well before the ball getting close to the goal line.
And now I guess they've overruled the touchdown. So during the celebration, you saw the one official on the near side run in and say touchdown. The official on the far side overruled it, and there doesn't have to be a challenge. So one official overrules the other, and now it's 2nd and goal from inches away.
I think we're going to see that same play again.
Stumbling on his way to the end zone and short to bring up 3rd and goal. Might have even lost a couple of inches, and Marion Barber almost took a nosedive at the snap.
Yeah, he kind of lost his footing coming out from underneath. Right there, he never really got his balance, and so he lost all his power and tried to just lunge and get as much of it as he can, you know, hoping that he could get it across the goal line.
Now he comes out.
He may have lost yardage on that play.
I think so. He comes out to Tashard Choice. A smaller back comes in, 5'10", 212. And he gets it. Choice to the goal line. Touchdown. First touchdown of the year for Tashard Choice.
There really wasn't all that much movement up front. In fact, Tashard Choice runs into Doug Free, the left tackle, And normally when you get held up like that and lose any kind of momentum, there's other defenders there, but because Andre Giroud got such a nice push at the center position, Choice was able to find a hole to get it in the end zone.
The 17-point Saints lead is gone. Choice stomping up and down the sidelines after pounding it in. Jason Garrett can be magical on Thanksgiving. His team's up by 4. Members of our crew on this Thanksgiving working hard on the holiday, and the faces and the people who help bring you the NFL on Fox with our group week after week after week after week. The people that Troy, Pam, and I rely on every week, and they do such a great job, including Ed Spida, our statistician here in the booth, the best in the business, and Dave Schwabe, who does it all up here. Our spotter, Steve Horn, editorial consultant. And it's now a 4-point Dallas Cowboy lead with under 6 to play on Thanksgiving. What a game this turned out to be. Roby will take a knee. Another touchback. And Drew Brees, with his team trailing for the first time, hits the field.
Boy, and we saw that the Saints, at one time to start this game, we're up 17-0, and they've had a lot of opportunities, and they've just not been able to make the play, or they've had the turnover, as we said. But they had a chance to really open this thing up on the 3rd down pass to Reggie Bush that they had to settle for the field goal on, and then the fumble after that really changed the entire complexity of this game.
First down from the 20. And the handoff is to Julius Jones. Gets 2, and then he stood up. Maybe 2.5. Brooking is in the middle of it. The biggest Cowboys comeback on Thanksgiving, 14 points. This was a 17-point New Orleans lead after 1, and that was back in '94. We already talked about it against Green Bay. Jason Garrett, who's now the interim head coach, was at quarterback, playing in place of the injured Troy Aikman and your backup Rodney Peete. 2nd and 7. Brees has to float it. David Thomas incomplete.
Well, the Cowboys brought some pressure in order to try to get Drew Brees to move in the pocket. And because of that, he wasn't able to set his feet and deliver a little bit better ball. But DeMarcus Ware there, and it forced Brees out of the pocket off the other side. But this is a veteran group here on this offense. They're used to these situations.
3rd and 7. Brees steps up and down he goes in the arms of Ratliff.
Well, they got pressure on the outside. Ratliff on the inside. But it was that outside pressure that forced Brees to step up. And then Ratliff comes up and makes the play.
Second Cowboys sack of the day. Ware has the other. And now Des Bryant, who wants to put his mark on this Thanksgiving game, waits for the punt. Jimmy Graham, the rookie, came on the field late. There's a flag down. It's against New Orleans. Graham wasn't out there. And so Graham has had a rough stretch. He tipped the ball for an interception, and now he wasn't on the punt team. And instead of just staying on the sideline, he ran on late. And they threw the flag. He wasn't across the ball. The Saints have unraveled here in the second half.
Illegal shift, offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
So with the glowing reports of Jimmy Graham, there's Graham. He was moving at the snap, so an illegal shift could have been an offside if he wasn't across the ball. Either way, it erases a 51-yard punt. And now the two big playmakers, Des Bryant and Brian McCann, are waiting deep for Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, here they are at the 45-yard line, and where they get any kind of return, they're going to have awfully good field position.
With under 5 to play. Morstead hits it. It's a beauty. Wow. Blasted, and Des Bryant hauls it in. Cuts it upfield. And a nice return by Des Bryant up to the Dallas 38. 64-yard punt from Thomas Morstead and a 13-yard return by Des Bryant, who's been frustrated offensively, and the Saints have to be wondering what's hit him here after that 17-0 start.
I tell you what, I'm impressed with that punt right there. I mean, you talk about a timely punt when they had to get Morstead to really bomb one of his best, and for him to deliver, it's pretty impressive.
Morstead, number 4 in the NFL, with a punt average of over 46.5 yards per punt coming in. That one over 60. Here is Felix Jones. Shanley on the stop, a gain of just 1.
Well, we've been talking about the New Orleans Saints defense and how much improved they are from a year ago, and now's their opportunity to show that they can make a key stop at a critical moment in the game to give their offense another opportunity.
And right now they're betting on this possession here defensively, as the New Orleans Saints have just used their second timeout. So the Saints now only have 1 timeout remaining, and we welcome you inside our booth. Who could have seen this coming after a 17-0 start by the Saints on top after 1, and Dallas with not much left to play for except pride. They've shown their pride here today on Thanksgiving.
Well, they sure have, and they have here over the last 3 weeks. Been pretty impressive what the Cowboys have been able to do for a team that essentially is not playing for much. They are professionals, but for the Saints, you know, you said it a moment ago, some mistakes that you just really wouldn't expect to see, you know, not only from a defending world champion, but just from a team that has been in big games before.
Second down and 9, and it's a handoff to Felix Jones. And with 3rd and long coming up, the Saints will not use a timeout. Let's go down to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Well, Joe, Marion Barber, he's watching all the action from the sideline right now, looking at him. He's got a huge bandage on his left calf. They say it's a strain. His return is questionable. Back to you.
All right, that happened, as we saw when he was stumbling, trying to pound it in the last time the Cowboys had it, just outside the Saints end zone. And now with the clock running, it's 3rd and 6. And a big opportunity here for the Saints defensively to get a stop. Kitna throws and hits Roy Williams. What a conversion. Down inside the 15. Ball comes out, and they're saying that it belongs to New Orleans. Malcolm Jenkins. And we'll take another look at this. Let's take a look at the end of the play and see when it comes out.
We've got the arm in there and went for the strip.
Yep.
It definitely came out and right into the arms of Malcolm Jenkins. That's just one great play by Malcolm Jenkins, who Greg Williams says is the best defensive player they have on their team.
That ball never hit the ground, and Jenkins just ripped it out as he and Roy Williams went to the ground inside the 15. They'll mark it at the 11, and Drew Brees now has his team down by 4 with 1 timeout left and 3:03 on the clock.
Well, he was working against Patrick Robinson. He went to the ground, and boy, what a change of events.
The play netted 47 yards of field position, but the Saints get the ball. Colston with a catch out across the 30, knocked down at the 33.
Pretty good coverage once again, but you know, Drew Brees knows where to put the ball. He puts it up high, and he goes and gets it. Talk about putting the defense on the ropes right now. No huddle by the Saints.
Breeze steps up down the middle of the field. Devery Henderson can't hang on. Newman knocked it away. 2nd and 10.
Well, Drew Brees has thrown some nice balls in this game. You know, not an easy catch. He's trying to bring that one in. Really a nice play by Terrence Newman as Henderson goes to bring that in. Fingertip. Newman goes right for the ball. That's just a good play on his part.
Newman with 7 tackles and knocked that out of the hands of Devery Henderson. What a play by Malcolm Jenkins. He has single-handedly given the New Orleans Saints a chance. 2nd and 10. Breeze throws sideline over the head of David Thomas. Let's go back to that play made by Malcolm Jenkins.
Same thing we saw earlier, the matchup. Patrick Robinson, he wants to come up and act like he's going to jam Roy Williams. He loses his balance, gets turned around, and Malcolm Jenkins protects him on it. I'll tell you what, you can watch football a long time and not see many plays as good as that one.
And now it's 3rd and 10 with 2:25 left. Breeze pumps and now goes deep. Meacham. Coverage by Newman, and Meacham was hit in stride. What a throw by Breeze.
Pretty simple route. They just run a go route right by Terrence Newman.
That's the first catch of the game for Robert Meacham. 55 yards. Sets up New Orleans at the Dallas 12. Down by 4. 2 minutes left.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink possible.
We welcome you back on Thanksgiving. The guys who sit up front in our production truck, Colby Bourgeois, who hits all those buttons. It's the hardest job. Rich Russo, our director. Richie Zients, our producer. Derek Manning in the back. Joe Stevens sets us up. Our boss, Eric Shanks. I mean, everybody's here on Thanksgiving in Arlington. And it's a first down for the Saints at the Dallas 12, down by 4. They need a touchdown. Looking for their 4th straight win. The Super Bowl champion Saints. Breeze, end zone. More, touchdown. And New Orleans is back on top. At times they can make it look so easy, and Roy Williams, who had the football stripped by Malcolm Jenkins, will have to go back on the field as the Cowboys are now trailing.
They motion Lance Moore. He knows he's got man coverage. Michael Jenkins going in motion with him, and then it's just one-on-one. Michael Jenkins sits on the route, anticipating that he's going to squat down around the goal line. He goes to the post, touchdown.
6th touchdown catch of the season for Lance Moore. What a game. 5 plays, 89 yards, 68 seconds, and at times the Saints can make it look so easy. But this really, I mean, this is one singular play by Malcolm Jenkins, second-year player, who just stripped it from Roy Williams as the two went to the ground on that completion from kickoff.
Well, there's no question that that was a great play there by Malcolm Jenkins, but then you got to do something with it, and that's exactly what Drew Brees and company were able to do. You got the touchdown there, but what set that up was the long ball right at the 2-minute warning up the right sideline against Terrence Newman to Robert Meacham. A perfectly thrown pass. And Robert Meacham just flat ran right by Terrence Newman, and Drew Brees delivered it right on the money.
So now 1:55 remaining. Dallas has 2 timeouts left. They're down by only 3. That 55-yard completion to Robert Meacham, his first catch of the game, and that meant that Brees had hit 7 different receivers, and Brees then capped it with a touchdown to Moore.
Well, there's the throw there to Robert Meacham that got him down in there for the touchdown to Lance Moore. It goes back to what we said earlier in the game, Joe. Yes, Marcus Colston's the guy who leads the team in receptions, but every one of these guys can come up big at any moment. You called it. Robert Meacham hadn't had a catch in the game. A big one there. And a nice job by Lance Moore setting up Michael Jenkins for the touchdown.
For Brees, 352 yards passing. 5th time this season and the 42nd time in his career that Drew Brees is over 300 yards through the air. And now the big home run hitter for the Dallas Cowboys, Des Bryant, waits for the kick from Garrett Hartley.
Drew Brees, a hard one to bet against.
30-27 with under 2 to go. And Bryant will take it from halfway in the end zone. Lowers his head and fights his way across the 20. So now for the Dallas Cowboys, who have won 2 straight. It's John Kitna on the field with his team down by 3, and here's that collision. Usama Young was in there for the Saints, and he wasn't alone. And Bryant,
wow, I think his ears are ringing. There were a lot of plastic banging right there.
Anthony Waters was in on that hit as well. Starting at the 24. Kitna can't find anywhere to go with it, so he carries it forward. Smith on the stop, a gain of 4. 2 timeouts remaining, and that's to be found on the Fox box top left-hand corner of your screen. The Cowboys taking a long time to get to the line here, as we're under a minute and a half.
You start moving receivers from one side of the formation to the other, you eat up a lot of clock time.
Kitna throws, hits Witten for a first down. And the Cowboys will hang on to their 2 timeouts.
And that's what he's doing again. He's moving Miles Austin then over to the slot. But when you start doing that, when you start moving receivers, you've got to then wait for them to get lined up, and you can't get the ball snapped as quickly as you'd like.
Minute to go. Here's Witten. Gets a block and will pop out of bounds. They're at the 48. Beeler has already hit from 53. That was his career long, which came at the end of the first half. That would mean taking it to the 35-yard line for a 53-yard try.
Well, they've got a lot of time, 2 timeouts, and they don't have to get a whole lot further to get in his range.
The last completion for 12 to Witten, and now Jason Witten gets another and hops out of bounds, and they're making it look easy now offensively. The Dallas Cowboys are. Good for 9 was Witten.
Yeah, my guess is that you know, right now, knowing that a field goal ties this game up, John Kitna, be conservative, take the things that the sure throws, and then once you get into a position where you're comfortable with being in field goal range, then start taking some shots.
Here's a pass dropped as Miles Austin started to run before he made the catch. The other part of it, and now it's 3rd down and a yard, is that Beeler has been anything but consistent as the field goal kicker for the Dallas Cowboys. Last year, he was their kickoff specialist.
Now, there's not a, I mean, you got to have confidence in your kicker. I say that. I don't know how much confidence they do have in Beeler.
They fake the handoff, flip it high, pass is caught by Williams. Great effort. And Roy Williams reaches for the first down. And remember, he's on the hook for dropping that ball or losing it to Malcolm Jenkins last time he had it.
Yeah, 2 problems here for Jabari Greer. One, he doesn't make the tackle there, so it allows Roy Williams then to pick up the first down. Secondly, if you make the tackle, the Cowboys would either have to call a timeout or there's going to be time coming off the clock.
Pass is into the turf in the direction of Des Bryant. Austin was out in that neighborhood as well. In case you're wondering, it would be a 59-yard try from this spot, so now you start measuring the other way. They're 6 yards away from that 53-yard field goal mark that Beeler hit from at the end of the first half. That line near the 35. Here's one batted away in the direction of Bryant. Roman Harper, the safety, up to bat it away.
They're just trying to get something out quick, and knowing they don't need to pick up all that much more yardage, to be well within Beeler's range. They're trying to throw some quick passes, some easy high percentage stuff, so there's not much risk involved. They just haven't been able to execute it.
Kedna throws, pass incomplete. That's Bryant. They're outside field goal range at this point, and it's 4th down, so they're kind of caught in between where you keep the offense out there and you need 10 yards to stay alive.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they're on 2nd down or 3rd down. They didn't try some type of draw in order to see if they could get some yardage with the timeouts that they had. That play there, a good idea. Again, the back shoulder throw, but we just haven't seen Dallas have much success with that throw here this afternoon.
Well, instead of go for it on 4th down, they're going to try from 59. Hayden tried to call a timeout, didn't get it. Beeler misses. Watch Payton right before the snap. That's him celebrating the miss, but just before the snap, he tried to call a quick timeout, didn't get it. And Payton and the Saints have to be happy about that as Beeler misses it wide left. He had the distance.
Yeah, he had the leg. He just pulled it left. And here's the shot of Sean Payton trying to get the timeout before the snap of the ball, and lucky for him, he didn't get it.
And the Saints will win their 4th in a row. And the 2-game win streak under Jason Garrett is over for Dallas. It's 30-27. Beeler had enough leg, missed it. Cowboys didn't go for it on 4th and 10, and Beeler missed it wide left.
And I think the decision to kick it was the right decision. I mean, rather than go for it on 4th and 10, knowing that he has the leg. I mean, he had plenty of leg, so he had a puncher's chance of making this. He just pulled it left.
And Dallas is going to spend their final timeout with 21 seconds left. So they can't stop the clock. Roy Williams, if you think about it, if Jenkins doesn't make that play, they have a 1st down. The ball's inside the 15. They're leading by 4. They can eat the clock. Not all of it, but at worst they come away with 3 points. It's a 7-point game. Instead, Jenkins makes a defensive play, and Drew Brees and the receivers took care of the rest.
This was one of those games, Joe, that no matter who won, the other team was going to look at it and say, man, you know, we shot ourselves in the foot and we gave it away. You know, the turnover by Reggie Bush and the interception off of Jimmy Graham's hands by the Saints. The Cowboys will look at this one and feel they gave it away also.
Dallas Cowboys are 3-8. The Saints have won 4 straight. They are 8-3. And they'll be watching with the rest of us this weekend when Atlanta, leaders of the NFC South, will host Green Bay. We will hand out the Galloping Gobbler when we come back to Arlington. (30-27) is the final. Time to share the 7-word recap brought to you by Windows Live. Now we're going to summarize this game in 7 words. The 2010 Galloping Gobbler Award goes to down on the field, as we remind you, for whatever you're sharing, to the cloud with Windows Live to create and share anywhere. Here's Pam Oliver.
Man, oh man, the play to Meacham, I think, is the one everybody's going to be talking about. Walk us through that play and what you saw.
Well, it was 3rd and 10, and so obviously a longer down and distance, and we'd kind of been seeing the same coverage, you know, over and over again, and kind of felt like that's what we were going to get again, and obviously felt like they'd be sitting around, you know, the markers and an opportunity for a big play, and Robert Meacham just screamed right by Newman on the right side, and obviously made a great play and put us down there in scoring range.
Let's get down to the business at hand. We have the Galloping Gobbler, and you won it. Mike Steve Pack is bringing it in now, and there you go.
Great game.
Thank you. White gloves and everything.
Everything.
What do you think?
It's awesome. I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for my two sons to break this. But
A quick question from Troy and Joe upstairs.
Yeah, Drew, I was just going to say, first of all, thanks for looking kind of happy that you won that award. It's really not that pretty.
No, I love it. It's about.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it'll always make me think of this game and this moment, and obviously our team, and you know, just coming back from adversity today, it was a wild ride. I don't think we disappointed anybody at home.
Yeah, you pulled that one out. I wonder, as you look at this team offensively, you look like you're rolling again, and how you feel this group compares to where you were a year ago.
Well, we try not to compare ourselves with last year. I think that's probably one of the pitfalls of a team coming off the Super Bowl championship. It's a new year, it's a new team, and I feel like we've got the opportunity to be a better team this year in all three phases. And you know, we've gotten it going here the last 3-4 weeks, and this is when you want to be playing your best football in November and December, and it's time to make a run at it.
Hey, Drew, that Galloping Gobbler is not quite the Lombardi Trophy. Good luck on your pursuit of the next one.
Got some good weight. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Thank you, Drew. Congratulations. He wins it here in 2010. Drew Brees, who had his 21st career game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime. That includes the postseason, and that game-winning drive. 5 plays, 89 yards, 1 minute, 8 seconds off the clock after the Roy Williams fumble. On November 27th, shop small and help your favorite business start booming on Small Business Saturday. Brought to you by American Express Open. Learn more at facebook.com/smallbusinesssaturday. Troy and Pam and I, we're all headed over to Troy's. We're glad on Thanksgiving you joined us here at Fox. 30-27. Saints are on the roll. They've won 4 straight. Studio coming up after this.